What if the reason you suffer isn't life itself, but the way you cling to it? Isn't it exhausting, caring about everything, everyone, all the time? What if peace begins the moment you simply let go? Take a deep, gentle breath with me right now and notice this stillness. Do you feel how rare it is in a world that never stops demanding? So much of our suffering comes from caring too much about things we cannot control. We care about how others see us. We care about results we can't predict. We carry expectations so tightly that our hearts grow restless, like a bird trapped in its own cage. Buddhist wisdom offers a softer way to loosen the grip. Letting go doesn't mean indifference. It means caring without being chained to the outcome. Imagine holding a handful of sand. If you squeeze it too tightly, it slips away. If you hold it gently, it rests in your palm. Life works the same way. Think about it. How often have you lost sleep replaying what someone might think of you, or worrying about a future that hasn't even arrived? That endless cycle of what if is the weight of overcaring. The Buddha pointed to this as the root of suffering, our clinging, our craving, our need for control. But when you stop clinging, something shifts. You begin to flow with life like a river that doesn't fight the rocks. It simply moves around them. You begin to notice small freedoms, breathing without hurry, listening without judgment, loving without fear. This doesn't mean you stop striving or stop loving. It means you love more freely, you work with clarity, and you trust that even when things don't go your way, life still carries you forward. Like clouds drifting across the sky, moments of joy and moments of pain pass naturally when you don't hold on too tightly. So ask yourself, what am I gripping right now? Is it an opinion of others? A fear of failure? A need for certainty? And then gently ask, what would happen if I loosened my hand just a little? When you let go of overcaring, you don't become cold, you become free. And in that freedom, peace naturally finds its way back to you. As we begin, let us take a slow breath together. Feel the air moving gently in and out, and notice how even the breath flows naturally without our effort. This is the rhythm of life itself. And so we will go to the first part of today's video, the freedom of letting go. So much of our suffering comes from caring too much about things that were never in our control. We hold on to outcomes, to people, to the way we want life to be. The Buddha taught that craving and attachment are the true roots of suffering, not life itself. Life is not cruel. It is our tight grip that creates pain. Imagine holding sand in your hand. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips away between your fingers. But when you hold it lightly, the sand rests gently in your palm. In the same way, when we cling too hard to relationships, possessions, or expectations, they escape us. But when we hold life with gentleness, we discover space for peace, gratitude, and love. Think of a river. It does not fight against the rocks. It flows around them. And yet, over time, its persistence carves valleys and shapes the land. Life is the same. When we stop resisting, when we stop demanding that everything must go our way, life begins to carry us forward with its natural current. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means trusting the river to take you where you need to go. Ask yourself, what are you gripping too tightly right now? Is it the opinion of others, the desire for recognition, or perhaps the fear of losing something precious? Notice how heavy it feels in your heart when you cling. Now imagine loosening that grip, even just a little. Feel the lightness that enters. This is the beginning of freedom. The wisdom of letting go is not coldness. It is not indifference. It is love without chains, care without fear, presence without control. It is the understanding that when we release the need to hold everything in place, life becomes more spacious, more alive, more beautiful. Let us pause here, together, with one gentle breath. In this moment, you already hold the key. Peace does not come from controlling life, but from flowing with it. When we spoke about letting go in the first part, perhaps a question arose in your heart. But if I stop holding so tightly, does that mean I stop caring? This is a natural fear, and it leads us into the next part of today's video, caring without chains. In Buddhism, not caring excessively does not mean indifference. It does not mean you stop loving or stop showing up for life. It means you free yourself from unhealthy concern, the kind that weighs down your spirit and ties knots in your heart. The Buddha's wisdom reminds us, love becomes purer when it is not chained by fear or possession. Picture water flowing down a mountain. When it meets a rock, it does not crash in anger or struggle to break it apart. It simply glides around, finding its way forward. In the same way, when we release the need to fight against everything that does not go our way, we move more gracefully through life. We begin to flow rather than resist. Think about how often we seek approval, wanting others to validate our worth, or how stubbornly we resist change, trying to hold on to what is already passing. These patterns create exhaustion, but when we loosen the grip, we realize something profound. The world does not collapse without our constant control. Instead, it opens space for lightness and peace. Your worries are like leaves resting on a stream. One by one, they drift away with the current. You do not need to chase them. You do not need to hold them back. Simply watch them float and notice how much lighter you feel when you let them go. This is the heart of not overcaring. To give your energy only where it truly nurtures life and to release the rest. Imagine how your days would change if you stopped measuring your worth through the eyes of others. Imagine how free your heart would feel if you no longer resisted change, but trusted that every ending is also a beginning. Caring without chains is an art. It asks us to be fully present, deeply compassionate, yet unburdened. It is smiling at life even as it shifts and transforms. It is saying, I love, but I do not possess. I act, but I do not control. I walk, but I do not cling. When you live this way, you discover that peace is not the absence of care, but the presence of freedom. As we continue, let us explore another story that holds the same wisdom of impermanence, but from a different angle. Imagine a paper lantern lit during a quiet festival night. Its soft glow warms the air, guiding people through the darkness. Children laugh, elders smile, and for a few moments the world feels beautifully alive under its light. But as the flame burns lower, the lantern eventually fades into darkness. Some feel sadness in that moment, but the wise see it differently. The lantern was always destined to go out. This lantern, like the teacup once spoken of by Zen masters, teaches us the truth of impermanence. Everything we hold, no matter how precious, will eventually change, fade, or be lost. And yet, instead of clinging in fear, we can learn to cherish every flicker of light while it is here. The glow is not less beautiful because it ends. It is beautiful precisely because it is fleeting. How often in our lives do we resist this truth? We fear the wrinkles on our face, the goodbyes we cannot stop, or the endings we cannot avoid. But the Buddha's teaching of impermanence, anicca, reminds us nothing is truly ours to keep. Life is a flow, not a possession. When we understand this, every moment becomes a gift, not a guarantee. Think of the people you love. If you hold them with the fear of losing, every day feels heavy, full of anxiety. But if you hold them with gratitude, knowing that time is limited, each smile becomes brighter, each conversation deeper, each shared silence more sacred. The lantern burns out, but the warmth it gave remains in our hearts. This is the lesson. Impermanence does not diminish life's value. It magnifies it. By accepting change, we learn to live more fully, love more freely, and appreciate more deeply. The next time you watch a sunset, remember, it is gone within minutes, but its beauty lingers in your soul. So let us practice this art, to see everything as already passing, already transforming, not to despair, but to wake up, to embrace the truth that because nothing lasts forever, everything matters more. The story of the broken cup reminds us that everything is already changing, already on its way to becoming something else. From this wisdom, we now move into the next part of our journey, living in harmony with impermanence. When we embrace impermanence, we begin to live more freely. Life becomes lighter because we no longer fight against the natural rhythm of change. Suffering often comes when we resist, when we demand life to bend to our desires. But impermanence, or anicca, as the Buddha taught, shows us that everything, joy and sorrow, success and failure, rises and falls like waves on the ocean. In relationships, this wisdom invites us to let others be who they are. instead of forcing them to fit our expectations. Imagine the freedom of loving someone without trying to control them. Love becomes pure when it is not chained by fear of loss. In work and goals, living with impermanence means giving our best effort, but releasing attachment to results. Like planting a seed, we nurture it with care, but do not command the rain or the sun. By trusting the process, we find peace in the journey itself. In daily life, impermanence teaches us acceptance. Seasons change, bodies age, moments pass. When we cling, we suffer because we want to hold what cannot be held. But when we flow with change, we discover an inner stillness that no storm can disturb. To live in harmony with impermanence is not to give up, but to walk with awareness, knowing that everything is temporary yet meaningful. Just as waves rise and fall, but the ocean remains vast and calm, we too can remain steady even as life shifts around us. When we no longer fight against the tides of change, a new door opens within us, one that leads to inner freedom. And so, in this journey, we will now move into the next reflection. Letting go to discover inner freedom. Buddhist wisdom for modern living. Letting go does not mean losing. In fact, it is the opposite. Releasing attachment does not make us weaker. It makes us lighter, stronger, and more at peace with ourselves. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones. Each stone is a fear, an expectation, a demand that life must be a certain way. The moment you choose to set the backpack down, you don't lose anything essential. You gain the freedom to walk with ease. When we no longer fear loss, we begin to cherish what we have more deeply. Love becomes purer, gratitude more natural, and relationships more compassionate, because we see them not as possessions to hold on to, but as gifts to appreciate while they are here. True freedom always begins from within. No one can steal your peace unless you hand it over. Praise and criticism, success and failure. These are simply waves on the surface of life. Through mindfulness, we learn to stand firm in the middle of both, calm and unshaken. To live this way is not to escape life, but to move in harmony with it. Like a river curving gracefully around rocks, you too can adapt to difficulties without losing your direction. You can bend, but you do not break. You can be soft, yet unshakably strong. And here lies the essence of Buddhist wisdom for modern living. Learning to love without clinging, to act without forcing, to embrace without fear of loss. The practice of mindfulness teaches us that the heart becomes free when it no longer demands permanence from what is impermanent. Gratitude grows when we realize that nothing lasts forever. Compassion deepens when we understand that every moment is borrowed, every connection is precious. Letting go does not mean indifference, it means loving more honestly, living more fully, and walking more lightly. So, my friend, we arrive at the heart of this teaching. Not caring too much does not mean being cold. It means finally being free inside. The broken cup whispers acceptance, reminding us that nothing was ever ours to keep. The river teaches us trust, showing that the flow of life always finds its way around every rock. And when we stop clinging, stop fighting against what cannot be controlled, peace rises gently, like sunlight breaking through after a storm. Real freedom is not found in control, but in surrender. True love is not possession, but appreciation. True action is not force, but flow. When you release the need to hold everything so tightly, your life begins to open, wide and infinite, like the sky after rain. You breathe easier, you walk lighter, and you love more honestly. Imagine this. A bird does not cling to the branch out of fear of falling. It trusts its wings. In the same way, your heart was never meant to cling. It was meant to fly. To let go is to trust that you already have the strength, the wisdom, and the light to face whatever comes. And this is the gift of Buddhist wisdom for our modern life. To walk softly, to see clearly, to live gratefully. Not by escaping the storms, but by learning to dance in the rain. Not by denying impermanence, but by embracing it as the very thing that makes each moment precious. So tonight, I leave you with this blessing. May you live lightly, love deeply, and trust the flow of your own journey. May you find the courage to let go, and in that letting go, discover the boundless freedom of your own heart. Before you go, share in the comments. What is one thing you feel ready to release today? Your answer may inspire someone else who needs to hear it. And if this teaching has touched you, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell, because together we'll continue to walk the path of Buddhist wisdom. In the next video, we will explore another timeless truth that may change the way you see your entire life. Don't miss it.